I'm just excited to be able to do this, and silver linings of the pandemic. Um, when Scott said, "I need somebody to help me," and I don't know if anybody. I'm not working right now. I will begin my new job at Leo Beck Temple in LA starting in July, so I've got some free time, and I'm so thrilled and excited to have been asked by my brother. For those of you who don't know me, which I'm assuming most everybody knows who I am, but I am Rabbi Scott's younger sister, Sarah, also a cantor, and interned with you all my final year of school. So we're talking like 8 years ago. But it is, again, so nice to see everybody's faces. So tonight, um, we're going to do some music that's familiar, some music that maybe you haven't heard, but hopefully will become familiar. And then what I like to do lately has been just poetry that has kind of brought me through this time. So interspersed, we'll have some readings, and it'll be a nice service. And I know we have Marion will be lighting candles for us in just a few minutes. But before we do that, it is always wonderful to come together in song, in words that really truly mean how good and pleasant it is for us all to be here together. And so, yes, we are not physically in the same place together, but the opportunity that we have now to be able to see each other's faces and to know that we are here praying together is a really wonderful opportunity. And so I invite you all. This is probably a newer melody, but the words are the same. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together. And if you need the words in your prayer book, it is on page 1. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together, together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together, together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. For those of you who may have noticed, there's some new words in that piece at the very end. Kulanu beyachad. It means all of us together. So it takes the shevet achim, which in true translation means it is so good that we brothers can be here together. And it takes it and adding that kulanu beyachad, it's everyone, all of us together, of every gender, identity, all together. So I have found in this time that poetry has become a solace of mine. And I've had the opportunity to come across some really beautiful poetry that has, whether it's written by a Jewish poet or just a secular poet, really brings me into Shabbat. And so I thought it would be appropriate to share some of those poems with you today. So this is actually written by a rabbi by the name of Karen Kadar. She's a rabbi out of Chicago. And this is called The Archaeologist of the Soul. I suppose that the archaeologist delights in brokenness. Shards are proof of life. Though a vessel, whole but dusty and rare, is also good. I suppose that the archaeologist does not agonize over the charred lines of destruction, signifying a war, a conquest, a loss, a fire, or a complete collapse. The blackened layer seared upon the bulk is discovery. So why do I mourn and shiver and resist? Why do I weep as I dig deeper and deeper still? Dust, dirt, buckets of rubble, brokenness, a fire or two, shattered layers of a life that rebuilds upon the discarded, the destroyed, and then the reconstructed, only to break again and deeper still, shards upon shards and layers upon layers. If you look carefully, the earth reveals its secrets. So does the soul. And the cell and the sinew and the thought and the wisp of memory and the laugh and the cry and the heart that seeks its deepest truth, digging down into the bedrock. Rock bottom, they call it. And in Hebrew, the mother rock. God of grace, teach me that the layers of brokenness create a whole. May this Shabbat, may you find even small pieces of you that can start to become whole again as we celebrate this wonderful week, as we recognize the things that maybe weren't so wonderful, and we find the moments of joy that can help us to rebuild. So we'll continue on page 2 with Lechu Neranena. I invite you to please join in and sing along. like to invite Marion to lead us in our candle blessing. And then Marion, in a moment, will there we go. You're unmuted. And lead us in our blessing, please. You can find the words to our blessing on page 4. Excuse me.
So I invite everyone to take a deep breath and let go of the ughs, the upsets, the tension in your body before we light Shabbat candles. Blessed God, let your light enter our souls and our hearts. On this Shabbat, we pray that you will grant us and our loved ones the rest and renewal that we need. May the light of these candles drive out from among us all tension and anxiety. Send your blessings to our children that we may walk in the ways of your Torah and light. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Marion. And actually, you took the words right out of my mouth. I like every week to have a moment where we sit in silence at the very beginning. And it's wonderful now that we've welcomed Shabbat into our world, into our life, if just for the next day, to have a moment where we can look back on our week quietly and look ahead at what's coming next, and to take that deep breath, as you suggested, and to sort of settle in to Shabbat. So we call this Chazarat HaShavua, a review of our week. I want to invite you now to just take a moment and think about the week that passed and the week to come. And while it's not morning yet, tomorrow morning will be morning. This is one of my favorite poems by Mary Oliver. It's called Why I Wake Early. Perhaps we can change some of these words to Shabbat. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who make the morning and spread it over the fields and into the faces of the tulips and the nodding morning glories, and into the windows of even the miserable and the crotchety. Best preacher there ever was, dear star. That just happens to be where you are in the universe, to keep us from ever darkness, to ease us with warming touching, to hold us in the great hands of light. Good morning, good morning, good morning, or so we say, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Watch now how I start Shabbat in happiness and in kindness. We will continue with Lecha Dodi on page 4. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekavela, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha ishmianu Yuchai, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad, L'Shemo Tiferet, Velitchila, Yai Lai Lai, Yala La La Lai Lechadodi, Yala La La Lai Likrat Kala, Yala La La Lai Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Nekavela, Likrat Shabbat, Lechu Venelcha, Ki hi Mekor HaBeracha, Merosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof Maaseh B'machashava Techila, Yai Lai Lai, Yala La La Lai Lechadodi, Yala La La Lai Likrat Kala, Yala La La Lai Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Nekavela, Itoreri, Itoreri, Iva Orech, Umi Ori, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai, Alayich Nigla, Yai Lai Lai, Yala La La Lai Lechadodi, Yala La La Lai Likrat Kala, Yala La La Lai Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Nekavela, Boi V'Shalom, Ateret Ba'ala, Gam V'Simcha Uv'Sola, Toch Emunei Am Segula, Boi Chala, Boi Chala, Yai Lai Lai, Yala La La Lai Lechadodi, Yala La La Lai Likrat Kala, Yala La La Lai Penei Shabbat, Penei Shabbat Nekavela. So we'll continue now with Baruch Hu, and I invite everyone, if you would like to rise, please feel free to do so if you are able to and comfortable to. I'm going to stay seated because I'm covered in wires and guitars. But maybe as you stand, as you prepare for this moment, think about maybe a way that you're ready for Shabbat. Sometimes we come into Shabbat and it kind of hits us face first, and we're sort of like, oh, okay, it's Shabbat now, right? This prayer is saying, I'm ready, and I am prepared to begin this day of rest, this day of self-renewal and reflection. So I invite you to please join me in Baruch Hu on page 5. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. So I am really incredibly lucky to teach at Hebrew Union College in Los Angeles, and one of my students showed me this book, and it's really funny. So for all of you that have dogs, you might relate. It's called God Got a Dog, and it is a really beautiful, beautiful book, sort of humanizing God. And it uses God in several of the different poems. And one poem, God's male, and one God's female, and one God's non-binary. I mean, it's a really beautiful book that sort of speaks to everybody. And I know that some of us, we don't know what God is. And so it's really nice to see these options. So this one, it's just one that I want to share. It's called God Went to Beauty School. He went there to learn how to give a good perm and ended up just crazy about nails. And he opened up his own shop. Nails by Jim, he called it. He was afraid to call it Nails by God. He was sure people would think he was being disrespectful and using his own name in vain. And nobody would tip. He got into nails, of course, because he'd always loved hands. Hands were some of the best things he'd ever done. And this way he could just hold one in his and admire those delicate bones just above the knuckles, delicate as birds' wings. And after he'd done that a while, he could paint all the nails any color he wanted and then say, beautiful, and mean it. I'll read another one of these later, but it's just one of those poems that recognizes that even God recognizes the beauty of this world in us, in its creations. And so I invite us together to read in Hebrew the Ma'ariv Aravim prayer on page 7 in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech vechoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi Laila, umavdil ben yom uvein Laila, Adonai. Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And as the secular holiday of Valentine's Day is coming up, this next prayer, Ahavat Olam, speaks of God and God's great love. And so, Ahavat Olam, you can find the words just under the next page, actually, the bottom of page 7. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach v'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed ki hem chayenu Be'orech yameinu Uvachem negei yomam v'layla Negei yomam v'layla Be'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu leolamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. We'll continue skipping down 3 pages to the Ve'ahavta in English, written by Julie Silver, one of my absolute favorite versions. So I was so excited to see that you had those words. I wish I could be hearing you actually out loud singing this, but love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorpost of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise. All right. I'm working with a little space here. So, another poem by Rabbi Karen Kedar. This book, if you're interested, is called Amen, and it's called Seeking Presence with Poetry, Prayer, and Mindfulness Practice. And she has just some incredibly beautiful words. So this is called I Lift My Eyes. I am searching for words that describe, make sense, or at least comfort, words that summon me from the depths of my solitude. In the night there is darkness, restless attempts to sleep, twisting, turning into the shadows as I seek a comfortable pose or bring my knees to my chest, folding my dreams in half. Will the crease ever come out? And in the day there are silent attempts to find hope, twisting, turning toward the light as I look for direction, a path, a way. It's not easy to find the way, and so I lift my eyes to the mountains, and heaven lays her head upon the mountaintop, and I begin to climb. What is the source of my help? I climb and gaze upon the vistas. More mountains, more horizons, never-ending moments where heaven meets earth, never-ending possibilities to meet the divine. And I think that is such a wonderful sort of visual for Micha Mocha as they are crossing the sea, and there's so much doubt and there's so much uncertainty of getting across. All they know is that they have to get across. And so they just start walking. They start climbing up that mountain or through that water, however we want to see it. And they sing, Mi Chamocha, Va'ilim Adonai, who is like you, Adonai. You can find the words on page 13. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei pele, nora tehilot osei pele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Something that has come to my mind as we sit here and we're watching each other on a screen, which, to be honest, right, can sometimes be a little bit like you're watching people eat, watching people cook, but I'm loving that I see all your faces here. But what I love about this sort of layout is that it feels a lot like a patchwork quilt, that everybody is bringing their own little piece of your community to the screen each Friday night. And I know that you've been lucky enough to be able to see each other, and hopefully you'll be able to see more of each other sooner than later. But I really believe that, and just having been part of your community, as I have and in the past, and I know, I mean, it's my brother, so of course I'm going to be part of your community in the future. This is a community that truly cares and that truly does bring each of their own love and support, very similar to the tabernacle that we're reading about this week, or have been for the last several weeks. And you each bring your own safety, your own protection for each other and for your community. And so we think of that patchwork, that quilt of each other, as we sing together Hashkivenu, which is on page 14. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. In a moment, we'll enter into our tefillah, the soul, the heart of our prayer service. We'll be doing this prayer silently today, giving you each an opportunity to have a moment to pray the words, whether on the screen or, not on the screen, in your prayer book, or the words of your heart, a moment to just sit back and to close your eyes. In fact, I invite you to do that now, to sit back if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. Feel free to turn your screens off if that makes it easier for you. And I want to share one more poem as we enter in. This is called God Got in a Boat. God got in a boat and said, wow. She'd never actually floated in a boat, though. She'd seen people out on the water and told herself she'd have to try that someday. Water had always bored her until she started seeing people having fun in it. So one day she got in a boat and said, wow, and headed across the lake. And the whole world looked different. She couldn't get over it. It didn't look like anything it looked like from the sky or from the ground or even from inside a whale, which she'd tried once or twice. She sat in a boat and was surprised how much sense it all made. All the little houses and the green trees and all the tidy cities and all the sky and all the land, it all made sense. She was surprised because really, she'd just been winging it. So the poem I just read, I think speaks to me in a way of saying that we see things differently all the time. Even God. We recognize just the smallest things can bring so much happiness and so much joy. Even sitting in a boat for the first time and seeing the world anew. So perhaps as you enter into this Shabbat, into this moment of silent prayer, of silent Amidah, perhaps you can open your eyes, open your heart, and accept whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever this Shabbat you are hoping to invite into your world. We'll join together in the words of Adonai Svatai Tiftach, and then we'll continue on quietly with our own words of silence. Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. On this path of peace, on this road I'm walking, singing songs to you. On this path of peace, and it's a long, long road, and I'm always walking. You are everywhere. I feel you walk with me. You put me in a holy place. Walk with me in the morning. You let the sun shine on my face. So here I am, here you are. You put me in a holy place. Gave me the moon this evening, bringing to light my darkened space. So here I am, here you are. On this path of peace, on this road I'm walking, singing songs to you. On this path of peace, singing songs to you. I feel you walk with me. So I've been thinking a lot about gratitude lately, about the things in my life that I'm grateful for as this pandemic has started and slowed down and stopped and then started again, and then kind of our worlds have been lifted and blown into a million pieces, and we're still trying to figure out how to live our lives. You know, just take what comes, which is something I'm learning very much to do more often than I have than I ever thought I'd have to, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And when I think about the opportunity that I have been given to spend some time with different communities, I've noticed that being grateful is a common thread, a theme. And even in this week's Parsha, in the last several weeks, we've been talking about building the tabernacle and building this enormous thing, this enormous building that is so intricate, and somehow we all come together and we build this tabernacle, and it is to a T exactly what God envisions for this home that we create for God to dwell among us, right? And what's so special about CSK is that while you don't have a physical structure that like the tabernacle, you have created a holy space between each of you and between the experiences and the ability to say it's the people, it's what the people bring to a community that truly makes it holy. And I have a book that is called Consolations, and by a man by the name of David White. And if you haven't read it, it's kind of one of those books that I like to keep by my bedside and read every once in a while, and it just sort of gives me something to sleep on when I read these. And this is in particular about giving, something my brother taught me, because as the sister of a rabbi, he is also my rabbi. And so something that when I was studying Parshat Truma, which we read I believe it was last week, one of the things that he taught me about that parsha is that it's not just that we were given the opportunity to bring objects, to bring things that were near and dear to us to build the tabernacle. It was the idea of giving if we were moved to do so, that it's this power within us to we have to be motivated, we have to be inspired to give. And so this is just a small excerpt from, here, I'm going to do this part. The idea of giving. Giving means paying attention and creating imaginative contact with the one to whom we are giving it. It is a form of attention itself, a way of acknowledging and giving thanks for lives other than our own. The first step in giving may be to create a budget, to make a list, or to browse a storefront, but the essential deed is done through the door of contemplation, of the person, the charity, the cause, finding the essence of the need and the person or relationship. Out of this image comes the surprise of understanding and the ability again to surprise the recipient by showing that someone else understands them, and through a display of giving virtuosity can even identify needs they cannot admit themselves. The full genius of gift giving is found when we give what a person does not fully feel they deserve. But that does not overstretch the point. It is the appropriate but surprising next step in their lives. It disarms and moves and empowers all at once, while gratifying the one who gives beyond most everyday satisfaction. To give is to make an imaginative journey and put oneself in the mind, the body, and the anticipation of another. To give is to make our own identities more real in the world by committing to something specific to the other person and something tangible that could represent the quality. To give is to carry out the difficult task of putting something of our own essence in what we have given. The perfect gift may be tiny and inexpensive, but accompanied by a note that moves the recipient, it can be enormous, extravagant, and jaw-dropping as a courageous act of flamboyance and devil-may-care love. But to give appropriately always involves a tiny act of courage, a step of coming to meet, of saying, I see you and appreciate you, and I am also making an implicit promise for the future. Little wonder then that the holiday giving that is none of these, that is automatic, chore-based, walking around the mall-based, exhausts us, debilitates us, and in the end is quite often subtly insulting to the one whom we eventually give the random item. Better to spend a long time sitting in our armchairs in silent contemplation of those we want to gift, looking for the imaginative doorway that says, I know you and see you, and this is how I give thanks to you, which may bring us to the perfect object, but also may bring us instead to write the short, heartfelt message that acknowledges their place in our lives. Cliches are often cliches because they are so stubbornly true. It is the thought that counts. But even more, it is the imagination behind the thought that counts, made tangible through gifts that find their definition through being twice blessed. And I read this and I said, this is the tabernacle. This is that idea that it didn't matter what or how much someone was giving, but the fact that they were merely giving something, even with a little note attached to it, saying this is what I can bring and this is who I am, I think made all the difference. And it wasn't necessarily about every little piece of silk and gold and whatever it was, wood, and I think that to make that tabernacle, but it was the inspiration, it was the motivation, it was the feeling that was brought along with it. So Shabbat Shalom. I wanted to just share that message with you all. And in the same vein, it is an opportunity now for us to give healing thoughts to those in our lives who are in need of it, body and mind and spirit. And that little note, that phone call, can sometimes make a day so much brighter. So I invite you now to share the names of those that you're thinking of. We'll read them out loud so that we all hear their names. Janice, Reuben, Candace, Keith and Clark family, Lauren, Keeper, Adele, Shamban, Joyce Basinger, Sandra Kaplan, Judy Kaplan, Marilyn Kaplan, Ann Riva, Hannah Kaplan Wald, Phyllis Rosen, Suzanne Bernberg, Sandy Morse, Henrietta Bell, Tori Silverman, Danielle Tobias, Harris Milam, Sharon Zeisman, Steve Sannett, Samantha Miller, and Abraham Hausman Weiss. Also want to add to that list, Andrew Haas. We take those names into our hearts. Oh, we had one more. My son-in-law, Evan, who is receiving Carrot Anderson, and Chuck, Steve, and Zatkin. Steve, Zatkin, Abraham. Thank you for sharing all of those names with us. We take their names into our hearts as we join together in the Misha Berach on page 23. Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imoteinu Mekor HaBracha Lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, a renewal of body, a renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. There's my boy. It's good to see you, Natalie and Abraham. I know you've been watching. Yay, Abraham. All right. So you can't tell that I'm a proud aunt at all. All right. So we now turn to the Aleinu, which again, if you would like to join in standing for the Aleinu, I invite you to do so. You can find that on page 24 at the bottom and 25. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. One more poem to share from this book, Amen by Karen Kadar. The morning you wake to bury me, you'll wonder what to wear. The sun may be shining, or maybe it will rain. It may be winter or not. You'll say to yourself, black. Aren't you supposed to wear black? Then you will remember all the times we went together to buy clothes, the prom, homecoming, just another pair of jeans, another sweater, another pair of shoes. I called you my Barbie dolls. You will remember how I loved to dress you and how beautiful you were in my eyes. The morning you wake to bury me, you will look in the mirror in disbelief. You'll reach out for some makeup, or not, and you won't believe that this is the morning you will bury your mother. But it is. And as you gaze into that mirror, you will shed a tear, or not. But look carefully. For hiding in your expression, you will find mine. You will see me in your eyes, in the way you laugh. You will feel me when you think of God and of love and struggle. Look into the mirror and you will see me in a look or in the way you will hold your mouth or stand, a little bent or maybe straight, but you will see me. So let me tell you one last time before you dress what to wear. Put on any old thing, black or red, skirt or pants. Despite what I told you all these years, it doesn't really matter. Because as I told you all these years, you're beautiful the way you are. Dress yourself in honor and dignity. Dress yourself in confidence and self-love. Wear a sense of obligation for this world. For you are one of the lucky ones, and there is so much to do, to fix. Take care of each other. Take care of your heart, of your soul. Talk to God. Wear humility and compassion. When you wake to bury me, put on a strong sense of self, of courage and understanding. I am sorry. Forgive me. I am sorry. Stand at my grave clothed in a gown of forgiveness, dressed like an angel would be, showing compassion and unconditional love. For at that very moment, all that will be left of me to give is love. We take now into our hearts those in our lives who are no longer with us physically, but whose memory, whose presence we feel on a daily basis. I want to invite anybody who is in a period of mourning, be it of Shloshim, the first 7 days of mourning, the first 30 days of mourning, the first year of mourning, or just happens to be thinking of someone today, to share those names in the chat, and we'll read them out loud. Carol Rosenberg, David McEwing, Blossom Brooks, Roy Tashnik, Pat Clark, Irving Snyder, Arnold Farber, Peter Milch, and Marcus Feldstein. Marcus Edelstein. We take all of those names into our hearts, as well as anybody else who we may just be loving inside. And of course, those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And I invite you to either stay seated or rise as we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yurtei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who sends peace from on high send peace to all who are in need of it, in need of love, in need of healing. Together we say amen. And I'm so grateful that I didn't look ahead at this. I didn't remember that this prayer was in here. But on the next page, page 27, this is one of my absolute favorite Debbie Friedman songs that I think just goes completely unappreciated. But those of us who have ever felt like we were at the bottom of our bottoms, into the depths of feeling lost, this song can change that for me. You turn my mourning into dancing, so that my soul might sing to you, so that my soul sings to you, and it not be still. You turn my mourning into dancing, so that my soul might sing to you, so that my soul sings to you, and it not be still. Oh God, my God, forever I will thank you. Oh God, my God, forever I will thank you. Oh Deka. Now I sing praises to the Holy One, who lifts me up when I have fallen, and I cry to you to heal me, and you have answered all my prayers. I ask you to be gracious and hear me, Adonai, and I have called to you to help me. You've supported me with joy. Oh God, my God, forever I will thank you. Oh God, my God, forever I will thank you. Oh Deka. Oh God, my God, forever I will thank you. Oh Deka. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's been such a pleasure to be here and to see you all. And I want to invite Tiffany to unmute and Actually, in a moment, I'm going to do the Kiddush first, and then we'll unmute. Tiffany has the challah. And it is really nice to see everybody. And hi, Nat.
Hi.
Hi, Abraham.
Hello.
And let's join together in the Kiddush. So if you have your Kiddush cup or water or whatever it is that you've got close by, lift it up and let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. Tiffany, you lead us. Do you want me to sing it? Do you want it? Yeah.
You can sing it.
All right, here we go. Join together. Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah
Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'telavon.
My dog gets it right.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Good
Shabbat
Shabbos.
Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you,
Thank you
Karen.
for allowing me to-
Everybody be well. Thank you, Sarah.
Stay safe.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Sarah.
Shabbat
Thank you,
shalom.
Sarah.
Shabbat shalom, Abraham and Natalie.
Thank
Shabbat shalom.
Great to see everyone.
Hi, Mommer. I see Mommer's there, but I don't see her face.
Yeah, I'm here.
I know. I said I don't see your face.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Great to see y'all.
Nice to see you.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, Jerry.
Shabbat shalom,
Hey there.
everyone.
Shabbat
Tiffany, thank you
shalom.
for your help.
Thank you,
Listen,
Karen.
Jerry.
Love having you.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone, have a great week.
Bye.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.